Hey guys, give me a hot second for Thursday boots and shoes, right? Thursday boots are perfect for guys who want a boot that's comfortable, durable, looks great, and is really, really built to last. And what makes Thursday boots different? Well, they're made in small batches by hand, and they use this Goodyear welt construction, right? We're not talking about tires here. That is where they put an extra layer of leather in there. It makes the boots more comfortable. It also makes it so they can be resold over time. Then that boot upper is gonna last forever. Thursday Boots is all about honest quality and fair pricing. They offer direct consumer pricing so you can save money on an honest to goodness product that's gonna last a lifetime. Hit the link in the description, get yourself a pair of Thursday boots or shoes. It's the only one you're ever gonna have to buy. Morning, folks. Morning, folks. We're on a new road today because I literally had to figure out where to film the 2021 V8 Vantage Roadster where I could actually breathe a little bit. I had to do a survey of all the local LA air quality regions and find a suitable canyon road that actually has breathable air today. And despite that, the first thing I'm going to show off to you about the V8 Vantage Roadster is how fast the top goes up, because even over here it's pretty nasty and I don't want to spend time in it. But check this out. Ready? Count them. 1, 1000, 2, 1000, 3, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1000. 7 seconds this top goes up in. That is super impressive, and it's an industry best, actually. The V8 Vantage Roadster has the world's fastest convertible top, which is pretty cool. You can do it at up to 30 miles an hour. Now that we've established I'm going to do this video with the top up, I can now do all the B-roll with the top up, and I can breathe recirculated air. Yay! The V8 Vantage Roadster has the same AMG supplied twin turbo 4-liter V8 as the coupe, making 503 horsepower and 505 pound-feet. It weighs 3,413 pounds, which is 137 pounds heavier than the coupe. The weight distribution has been moved 1% to the rear, and so Aston Martin's engineers have adjusted various things in order to make it feel exactly like the coupe when you're driving it. They revised the rear suspension, they changed the transmission tuning, reprogrammed the power steering to balance out the rest of the chassis and the weight distribution. Pretty neat. It's got the same adaptive dampers, DSC, torque vectoring, and all that good stuff as the coupe. The base price of the Roadster is $10,000 higher than the coupe, so like $150,000. This one, you ready? $210K. It's got all the options, and we'll go over some of those later. But first, let's talk about how it drives. And so to do that, we get to put it in the right mode. One thing that's really growing on me about Aston's is the thumb switches, one for shock absorbers and one for powertrain. So we'll put our shock in the middle setting, which is Sport Plus. There's Sport Plus track. And then we'll start with the powertrain in Sport Plus as well. We don't have a nose lift, and I have to clear this rut to get out of here, and then we should be no problem. And we're off. Unlike the AMG GTC, which I loved, this uses a ZF supplied 8-speed transaxle, not the Mercedes supplied 7-speed dual clutch. The dual clutch is a bit snappier and more exotic feeling. Aston's choice of the 8-speed is a little smoother in parking lots. Some people would call that more daily usable. I think it feels a little less exotic. Might be a cost choice, might also just be a conscious choice. Nevertheless, the V8 Vantage Roadster is lighter and more powerful than the GTC. It basically gets like the GTR engine, and it weighs a couple of 100 pounds less. And also, one of the differences, because they both have that V8 mounted pretty much all the way behind axle. This one's got a great trunk, this V8 Vantage Roadster. Big trunk, but it moves the driver's compartment more towards the middle, right? Whereas in the AMG, you're on the rear axle. So where does that room go? Unfortunately, the leg room a little bit, especially in the Roadster. I could really use another 2 inches. I don't think it's much of a problem in the coupe. I don't know exactly how much they've taken, but I wouldn't want to, at 6'3", go on like an 8 or 10 hour drive. I would need to stretch my hips. If you're under 6 feet, this does not apply to you. I have to say that other than, you know, being able to get a little more road noise and wind noise through the roof, on the highway especially, there really isn't a lot of difference between the Roadster and the coupe in terms of how they drive. I mean, they're both very balanced. Steering is very sharp. The brakes are good. The power is excellent. You know, the faster you go, the nicer the shifting is in terms of speed and excitement. Although the Mercedes one gets a little more barky in the parking lots, you know. They've got a new front grille for 2020. This one's got the old grille, but they now have one that looks a little more traditional Aston and a little less fish. Really like the power. Really like the balance. I really like how you can modulate the throttle. And good brake feel. I remember when I was driving the coupe, there was some issues with the brakes being grabby. I haven't found that in the Roadster. Little bit of a burble tune. It's not bad. Let's go into track mode for the powertrain. Ooh, a little more anger from the V8. Runs out of red line at 7, which is cool, but man, my kingdom, for like 300 or 400 more revs there. Just a little extra zing. Aston should get really good points for having very, very little chassis flex in this vehicle. I don't notice really any jiggliness at all. This and the 911, I think, GTC as well. The 3 of those are really, really good convertibles that aren't carbon tubs and have very little chassis flex. This has been evolved. They've made little tweaks here. Usually what happens with Aston is the first cars that come out are not totally done. Like that first V8 Vantage I drove. Then they kind of fix some stuff, and then in the update they kind of nail it. This is very good. Oh, I got just a little shudder there when I hit a hard edge bump on the power. The ZF transaxle is very responsive, really, really good. Does what you tell it when you tell it to do. I like that. They have worked on this. The little tweaks they have done on this are definitely noticeable. I was wondering, because it's been like over a year since I drove the other car, but this is good. What if I put suspension in gnarly mode? Track mode suspension. Are we going to be too stiff? And we're in town, actually. We have reached the end of this road. We will turn around so as not to disturb occupants of this town. Turning radius is appropriate. I don't find this car hard to park at all. I like it. And Aston's got that thing where it holds the doors, you know, where they, wherever you leave them. That's pretty cool. This road for canyons, the track suspension mode is too stiff, but the sport mode is good. That's not too abusive. if you're under 6 feet, this would be a lovely road trip car. This has got enough trunk space for a couple people's luggage for a week or two. The fuel economy is reasonable. You can get 20 on the highway if you're not too into it. High teens is definitely a possible number. It does still have this old school Mercedes infotainment, but I'm used to using it, and you get a big scroll knob. It's not so bad. What's a little is that when you get this beautiful tan leather, which is an upgrade, it's expensive too, but it's lovely, it's worthwhile. But then you have this carbon center bezel here, and then you have the black plastic for the buttons. It ends up being a lot of black. I kind of wish they did something with the color there. All those buttons get really confusing and disappear, especially when it's a black hole in the middle of a tan and carbon piece. When it's all black, it's actually somehow makes it easier to find. I can't really explain that better than that, but it really seems like an awful lot of buttons, especially the HVAC controls are really, really hard to figure out what button does what unless you stare at it for a while. Man, I like this. They've done well here. And I had to say, I think after 6 years of the square steering wheel, I think it's finally growing on me. When you combine the square steering wheel with a really sharp steering rack, and then also really good armrest positions, because the square creates the underhand grip like you get from a Rolls Royce. So you can be up here attacking the road, or you can be down here, relaxing, chilling, road tripping, and it's actually another really nice driving position. I like that. It's taken me several years to figure out what it is about that makes it worth having a square steering wheel, but that's it. Does this person mind if I go by? Oh, yes. Well, look at you, good citizen. Or maybe they're just turning around. The steering is very sharp. The brake feel is really good on this one. Really nice balance in the middle. I have traction control and stuff like fully on. I'm not, you guys know me. I don't really drive at the edge of traction control, so I can leave everything on. And when I modulate the throttle, I'm not inducing any kind of stability control. Boy, I'm glad I found a road to film this on that's worthwhile. A lot of on-camber. These tar strips across the middle of the road are really good test for how the suspension does it. Handles the little crags. Yeah, the reprogramming of the gearbox, the reprogramming of the brakes, if that's what's been done, because the brake feel is good. This is all very good stuff for Aston for this 2021 update. Which all the models get the updates, not just the Roadster. It's very nice. Really, really fun. And this thing, look, 3,400 pounds, that's like 911 weight. That's not Mustang Camaro weight. So you're talking about 500 horsepower, rear wheel drive, short wheelbase, in a car that's within range of a 911. This is good. And all those numbers, if they added up to a sloppy driving experience, the numbers wouldn't really mean much. But the fact is, this is a very precise, enjoyable driving experience. It's expensive, $150K isn't nothing, but compared to the marketplace, I think this is a really, really nice little option if you want a two-seat convertible, highly customizable. Speaking of which, let's go through some of our options. I don't want to be unfair to Ferrari with their egregious options list, because there are some really good ones in here. Are we ready? Let me just have a sip of my LaCroix, which did not pay me to say that, because I'm getting a little parched because the air is full of smoke and ash. Okay. Leather, all special. Oh, AML special, not all special. 5,300 in leather, 2,300 in premium audio, $10,600 in the exterior carbon fiber body pack. Comfort collection, 2,500. Tech collection, 3,000. Cooled seats, 1,600. Anything very egregious here? Carbon fiber satin inlay in the interior, 2,300. 5,300 for the textured black 20-inch wheels. And then some dark chrome jewelry package, first aid kit, leather headliner option, black hood mesh, various stuff. $210,000. So this thing actually has like 30% in options. This thing is loaded up, so you don't have to spend this much. I'm not trying to go, oh my god, it's like this one has everything. You don't need everything, but the color, this leather, they are fabulous, and I really think that Aston has done a nice job evolving this car. This is better than the last one of these I drove, and that was better than the one before it. So thank you to Aston for letting me have a go, and thank you to you for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye.
And remember, always fight your tickets. Go to offtherecord.com/TST or use code TST10 on the Off the Record app.